Blending modes influence the way layers interact with one another. Here's a good example. Today we're going to talk about 3 blending modes that you must know. To start us off, we're going to think about the screen blending mode. So this one ignores black and it makes things lighter. Alternatively, we have multiply. This blending mode ignores the white and makes things darker. And finally, we have overlay. This ignores the gray, makes things lighter or darker, increasing contrast. So where can we find these blending modes? In the Layers palette, at the top left-hand side, there's a drop-down menu. We've got quite a few. What we're going to do is we're going to explore screen, multiply, and overlay. So a moment ago, I gave you the definitions. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to click on this squares layer. And I can see that if I make it invisible, you can notice that it's its own layer. So I'm going to change the blending mode from normal to screen. And I can see that because the screen ignores black, the black completely disappears. The light, however, because it's 100% white, remains the same. And this 50% gray became a little bit lighter. I'm going to change it from screen to multiply. And what you'll notice is that it ignores the white, so the white right here is gone. The black remains the same, but the 50% gray just got a little bit darker. Finally, let's take a look at overlay. Now what I can see that the gray is gone. The black, however, has gotten a little bit darker and the light has gotten a little bit lighter. So, what does this mean for blending modes as we use this in our everyday practice? So here I can see an example. It's 2 layers and the background layer is a solid blue and the photo is desaturated. What I'm going to do is change the blending mode from normal to multiply, and we can see the black remains and the white has disappeared. Alternatively, we can see if we check screen, the image has got a little bit lighter. And finally, here we have an example of overlay. What are some other examples? I can see that this is a great example that uses a number of blending modes, specifically overlay. Here I notice that we've got a flower on a desaturated texture. If I make the texture disappear, we've got a nice ocean in the background. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the blending mode to multiply. We can see that the whites disappear, letting the sea come through. And if we change it from multiply to screen, the blacks disappear and the lights get lighter. And finally, let's see what overlay looks like. This looks like the optimal blending mode for this particular example. Here we've got another example. If I add a desaturated texture on top of it, we can see that we've got a nice overlay, multiply, screen. So I want you to take advantage of these blending modes and I want you to experiment. One final note. So I've got 2 images, and they look pretty similar. In this image, the one on the left, I can see that the photo is on top and the solid color background is on bottom. In this one, the solid color background is on top and the image is on the bottom. It really doesn't matter the relationship. Just keep in mind that the blending mode always goes down. So if I click on multiply, we can see that this is the result. And if I click on the photo and check multiply, this is the result. So the outcome is the same. Just keep in mind that blending modes merge down.